It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Monday, September 22nd. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a phenomenal weekend filled with family, friends, love, some sun. Hopefully you had some nice weather wherever you guys are in the world. Did you spend it at home? Did you spend it on vacation, at the beach, by a pool, or reading books? Did you spend it like I did, catching up on a lot of The Summer I Turned Pretty? OMG. I think I watched 9 episodes this weekend of season 1. And don't tell me what happens in season 3, because I know everyone's like, Team Conrad, Team Jeremiah. Jeremiah? That's his name, right? Team Conrad, Team Jeremiah. I am obsessed with the show. I'm only in season 1 and I'm not even done with it, but it's so good. I feel like it's old school, like CW. I feel young. I love it. It's a great show. Go check it out. If it's a good background show, because I don't have the patience to sit and watch long form TV, like unless it's a really high thriller, high energy show where you just have to sit there and like watch every second and you can't miss a moment. But this is a show that you can have on the background. Like I was doing a ton of laundry, I was cleaning, I was doing dishes, and I was cooking. I did a lot of cooking yesterday, a lot of prepping. For those of you that don't know, it is the Jewish New Year. It's Rosh Hashanah. It's a beautiful holiday. Starts today. Shana Tova v'metuka. That means have a happy or a sweet New Year, a good and sweet New Year to all of you guys. And I hope everyone is having a beautiful holiday for those of you that celebrate. Anyway, watch The Summer I Turned Pretty. It's an adorable show. It is on Amazon Prime. What else did I watch this weekend? Friday, I didn't really do much. I don't think I watched really anything. And then Saturday, we went out. Lance and I went out. We had an interesting night on Saturday, guys. Wow. I'll tell you something. I sat at a bar with Lance. We went to a sushi bar. I told some people on Zach had a happy hour, a Zoom happy hour. I met a lot of you guys yesterday. Hey, Beth and Amy, I saw you guys were on it yesterday. I told you guys the story, but he had a happy hour for his new membership. And I had never seen anything like this. This is how men, I guess, start dating women now. Wildest thing ever. A man wanted to, I guess, hook up with the girl. I didn't mix in my makeup well. With the woman that was sitting like 2 chairs next to me. And we were at a nice sushi restaurant. Like it's a bar sushi restaurant vibe. I mean, it's like a hopping spot, right? It's not like a very fancy spot. And he wanted to like, I guess, flirt and give this woman his number. So he sends over, and it's a woman and her mother, but she's like 25 and the mom is in her 50s. So he sends over cocktails to them. So the bartender brings them over like these really nice cocktails. And they're like, oh, that's nice. And a $100 bill with his phone number. That's it. Just a $100 bill. Here's $100. And I said to Lance, I said, is this something that men do? Like, would you ever do that? Would you just ever give $100 to someone? Just that's it? $100 go? And he goes, absolutely not, never. Because what if she had a boyfriend? What if she was a lesbian? What if she had bad breath? There's a million reasons why that $100 could just go right into the trash. Like, it's just totally, it's such a waste of money, right? Now, eventually it worked out because slowly after that, another guy came. I'll just give you guys the end of the story because in case you're kind of invested, another guy came over and, oh, this is interesting. Your guys' comments are like, she's not a prostitute, treating women like hookers. That's what I thought. And then the bartender was like, it sounds like he's in like the world of drugs because this feels like a drug thing. Like, why do you just have hundreds to just like write your number on and pass out? That's weird. But anyway, another guy came and sat next to the girl. Another guy. He starts talking to her. Well, I guess it gave like a little vibe of competition. So now she I guess the other guy that gave the $100 walked by and like gave her a little bit of a look. So she was into the guy that gave the $100. So she sends him a text. Hey. So all of a sudden, they do some little chatting back and forth. By the end of the night, by the time Lance and I leave, the guy that gave the $100 is sitting next to her and they're having dessert. So maybe they went home and shopped. Who knows? Who knows? Mildred's here in the comments. Mildred will take all the hundreds. Mildred will take any man, apparently. Oh, you guys, this is going to be a fun show. We have a lot to talk about. Lots to talk about. Lots of Blake Lively drama. Oh my gosh, I posted about Blake Lively crashing out on Instagram and on her Gossip Girl post. I posted about it. Of course, I cross-post. I posted about it on Instagram. I posted it on TikTok and on YouTube and whatever. And it's a very popular post. I just opened TikTok and it's hit 2 million views. 2 million views on TikTok. People are really, really loving seeing Blake Lively crash out. I mean, I'm just pointing out the obvious. We'll get into that story. It's wild. It was really out of, I mean, I think she just was like, why is this Charlie Kirk man getting all the attention on this Sunday? I need to get some back. Jimmy Kimmel, Charlie Kirk, why aren't they talking about Blake Lively? That's how I think her narcissistic brain works. Don't you think? That's what I think. I think she's probably like, I don't understand. I'm not at the top of the news cycle for about 4 days. Get me back up there. And it worked. It worked because if you Google Blake Lively, there's shit tons of articles about her all of a sudden. Oh my gosh, I didn't even remember to do my intro. What is this? I'm already halfway in the show and I haven't even done the sprinkler. I just want to chat. So much to talk about with you guys. You guys are my friends. I'm like Blake Lively. I have no real life friends. Just you guys. Just my online people. Everyone get your arms ready. It's your daily dose of Donna. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Thank you for subscribing and following the show and liking the show. I didn't realize how important likes were. I actually did do a little research on the like factor. You like me? Hit that like. You think I'm funny? Hit that like. You like my puppy? Hit that like. Okay? You hate Blake Lively? Hit that like. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bree says, love the new direction of the podcast. Lots of interesting and varied topics and a move away from Bravo. Bravo. Yeah, Bravo's really losing me. It's tough. I mean, I did watch Real Housewives of OC. Of course, I watched it on Friday, I want to say. It aired on Thursday. I watched it on Friday. And I have my feelings on it. Like Gretchen and Slade can go kiss my ass. They're horrible. They're horrible people. They are the biggest liars. They're ridiculous. But I can't do and sit here and like pretend that that's important in life. Honestly, I just can't. Like, and I get that there's great podcasts out there that can do an entire episode breaking down Real Housewives of OC. I just don't know if I have it in me to do that, right? Like, I just don't know if I have it in me. And there's certain shows that I find really fascinating when they're dealing with like real life issues, like the Jax Taylor and the Valley. I thought that was fascinating when we were dealing with like, you know, the addiction and the narcissism and the abuse. Like I found that fascinating. And of course, I'll never leave Cody Brown. When is Sister Wives coming back already? Don't tell me it started last night, right? It didn't. Did Sister Wives start last night and I missed it? Someone tell me. So I will cover what's important and what's interesting. I do like Salt Lake City. I do like the shows. I just don't know if I can do an entire like, oh, but I like the drama outside of the show, like where it carries out. Now, I did get some DMs from some OC housewives this weekend. I did get some DMs. I got some really angry DMs, not at me. They're not mad at me, but they're pissed because they're angry about the lies and the rumors and the husbands, not the husbands, but the rumors and the like the shit that gets thrown out there about them. They're really it's got to be really frustrating to be on a reality show and you're just living your life and you're just doing your thing. And then all of a sudden, okay, Sister Wives comes back. Thank you. Sister Wives comes back on September 28th. Yeah, when is Special Forces? I just want Cody Brown anytime because we have to just always find reasons to make fun of Cody Brown. And I need to know when I have to curl Blake Lively's hair for the Cody Brown recaps. Oh, if I put Blake Lively's hair on with my hair down, it will actually work. Well, I can do that for my Blake Lively segments. I'll have to work something out better. So it's got to be really frustrating. I guess there was this rumor about Emily and I have to dig deeper into this. Emily from Real Housewives of OC. I guess there was this rumor that she went to an anti-trans parade or rally. And she's so upset about it, understandably, because she has never gone to anything like that. And that is a incredibly reputationally damaging rumor. And so she reached out. She was like, do you follow this podcast? She told me about the podcast that it was mentioned on. I guess it was mentioned on the podcast Bitch Sesh, which I used to listen to all the time. I love Bitch Sesh. I used to love Bitch Sesh. I don't listen to it anymore. But apparently it was mentioned on that show. And it's got to be very upsetting to know that these rumors get spread about you all the time, Okay. Hi guys. All right, let's get into some of the stories today. Before we do, I do have Wrigley right at my feet right now, my little pup. And that reminds me because this week our show is brought to you by OLLIE. And if Wrigley could talk, she'd beg for OLLIE. She really does love OLLIE. The full body tail wag. Wrigley, you're coming up for this one. Come, join me for the OLLIE read. Wrigley wants to read this ad. The full body tail wag, the excited little hops, the big goofy grin, that's the OLLIE effect. Because OLLIE delivers clean, fresh nutrition in 5 drool-worthy flavors, even for the pickiest eaters. Made in U.S. kitchens with highest quality human-grade ingredients, OLLIE's food contains no fillers, no preservatives, just real food. And here's the thing, healthier food means a happier pup. Are you happy? Yay! More energy, shinier coats, better poops, and more excitement at mealtime. And they have 5 protein-packed recipes. Which one do you like? The fresh beef with sweet potatoes or fresh turkey with blueberries? Even the pickiest eaters can't resist. You might think, dang, my dog eats better than I do. And that's true when it comes to OLLIE. So you can get a welcome kit. You fill out OLLIE's 30-second quiz and they'll create a customized meal plan based on your pup's weight, activity level, and other health info. You customize your plan. And after 1 to 2 months on OLLIE, you can get more excitement at mealtime, a shinier coat, and solid, easy to pick up poops. Do you have easy to pick up poops? Do you? I think you do. So dogs deserve the best, and that means fresh, healthy food. Head to ollie.com/dailydose. Tell them all about your dog and use Oh, Wrigley's like pissed. Wrigley's like, please let me down. Go to ollie.com/dailydose. Tell them all about your dog and use code dailydose to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a happiness guarantee on the first box, so you're not completely satisfied. You'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/dailydose and enter code dailydose to get 60% off your first box. All right, Wrigley is now licking my toes. Maybe Wrigley thought my toes were OLLIE. Okay. So let's move on and talk about all the stories today. Let's start with Blake Lively, and then we'll move on to Jimmy Kimmel because there's some people that are not happy about that. All right. Blake Lively is, I'm convinced, and if I'll probably be wrong because I'm convinced that Blake Lively watches Daily Dose of Donna in some capacity. And especially now that TikTok went so viral, you know that she's freaking out. She's like, oh my God, I need to post another thing on my stories and saying that Ryan Reynolds took this picture. You know how she did that last time? The second that we were all saying, I think Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are getting a divorce, she posted the picture of her on the boat. And she was like, Ryan Reynolds took this picture, Van City Reynolds. You know, my husband, the one that I love, the one that I have a really good relationship with. Like, it's like so ridiculous. So she had a post yesterday that was out of left field. When I tell you left field, like I wonder about what's going on in Blake Lively's brain many times, many times. But I truly wonder about Blake Lively's brain. Now, Blake Lively just had a big loss in the court on the docket because Judge Lyman just turned down her ability to get into Source Intelligence, which is one of the firms to, she just basically got denied by Judge Lyman with her motion to compel. I will show you our girl Elsie because, I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to be a lawyer and I don't want to be a lawyer because who wants to do that? That feels hard. But Elsie is our resident attorney from Fafo and Associates, and she covers all of this. So I'm going to let you guys watch Elsie talk about how her motion to compel was denied. And this happened, I believe, on Friday, maybe Friday or Saturday. And this is why I think this entire thing just happened over the weekend or yesterday.
Blake Lively's motion to compel the private investigative firm that Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, used for his investigation in this case has been denied. The judge said, yeah, this is one of the things I cannot in good faith let you get your hands on because Lively has not demonstrated that Source Intelligence, the PI firm, is likely to have non-privileged information relevant to any claims in this underlying action. Non-privilege is important because the judge is saying, I'm not saying there's not information there to be found. I'm just saying, considering this is an attorney and this is process, you cannot just get your hands on it just because you feel like it. We'll take the little wins because we know we don't come by those very easily around here. We have sent a sworn affidavit saying they don't have shit to do with shit that involves what Blake is saying.
Shit to do with shit.
Choosing to believe them. Now, I just can't help but feel like something big is coming because we know the history of this case and the trajectory of things will show us whenever the judge gives Justin something or takes something away from Blake, he's about to hand her something even bigger. I.e., the recording Steve Surwitz wants everybody to hear. I can't help but feel he's about to find a way to make it okay for us not to hear it. Because there's not a lot of wins Justin gets from the court, it just feels like whenever he gets a small win, there is something bigger about it take him out. I don't know. Now, crossing my fingers, I'm knocking on all the wood in this house. It doesn't happen that way. But if it does, I'm just preparing you. Do not be shocked. And if it does or doesn't happen, I'll be here to tell you.
So, of course, Elsie is, preparing for the worst. And a lot of people are thinking that after this social media post, because why does Blake do this? Everything has a reason. She's not, I was going to say she's not stupid, but sometimes I question, but she's deliberate in her moves. There's an element of deliberate with everything I think Blake Lively does. And I can't say if it's smart necessarily because she's made some really, really bad moves, but she does have there is a level of, hey, let's think ahead. If I do this, then da, 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 da. So this Gossip Girl post, it's a Sunday. It's the day that you're supposed to be hanging out with your family. Now, I don't judge someone for posting on social media. Hello, I do it 17 times an hour. So I don't judge anyone for being on social media and posting. And I am such a sentimental person. I go through old photos. I go through old pictures all the time. I have no issue with that whatsoever either. But why in the world what would ever compel someone like a Blake Lively to out of nowhere post this post? And this, of course, is the Gossip Girl throwback post. 18 years, of course, after the release or after Gossip Girl. I guess it's after Gossip Girl premiered. I don't know. Let's look at it together. Obviously, you guys have seen it now ad nauseum, I'm sure, through different social media accounts. It's the summer Gossip Girl turned 18. Maybe she was like me. Maybe she spent her weekend watching The Summer I Turned Pretty and she started to feel very, emotional. 18 is a big number in the Jewish religion. So maybe she went to a bar mitzvah. I have no idea. The weirdest freaking post you've ever seen in your life. She did not like Oh, okay. I'm going to rephrase that. This cast and Blake Lively did not get along. There is absolutely no world in which you can rewrite history and say that they did. It would be like saying, what's another show I think that there is like a factual truth to the fact that they didn't get along behind the scenes? Like, it's like Shannon Doherty on the cast of Charmed. Like, there was drama. Shannon Doherty on the cast of Beverly Hills 90210. There was drama. Okay, here's another example. I'm listening right now to Allison Stoner's memoir. She's the girl from Cheaper by the Dozen and Camp Rock, and you know, she was a child actress, and she's talking about Demi Lovato on when they worked together on Camp Rock. And Demi Lovato was in the height of her bipolar drug addiction. And she's straight up saying Demi Lovato was like a horrid, horrendous bitch. Like literally horrible. She's straight up saying it. She's like, she would yell at us. She would scream at us. She even punched one of us. And then she would go out on stage and act like really, really nice and sweet. That would be like all of a sudden Demi Lovato being like, I had the best time behind the scenes with these people. No, they hated you. So this is psycho to post this as if all is good. To post this, you can say times were challenging at times. You could address it maybe. How about that? Why don't you address it and say, looking back at this time, I realized I wish I would have that would have been nice actually if Blake would have posted this and says, you don't know what you have until it's gone. Looking back at the Gossip Girl era, I really wish I would have slowed down and enjoyed it more. I wish I would have really, enjoyed my friendships more. I wish I would have, been more present on the set and really spend more time with the cast. Like, have a little bit of vulnerability, but to rewrite history in the psycho way, sorry, allegedly, not allegedly, in my opinion, psycho way. This is like when you get out of an insane relationship and then you write back and you'll be like, oh my God, I had the best boyfriend and he was the best guy ever. And meanwhile, he beat you for 10 years. Like, what? It's wild. So you're pretending that this entire era of your life, this college era on Gossip Girl, where she says straight up, she says that, the show was my college. Well, I mean, let's be real. College does come with ups and downs. So why don't you say that? It was my education, my social life, my hard work, my late nights and my mornings, my teacher, New York City and Silver Cup Studios, and sometimes Paris. It was my campus for 6 years. So many memories. What a decade. What a university. Like, you talk about it in such like a way. Why don't you be honest? Why don't you say, like, there were ups, there were downs, heartbreak, laughter, love, tears? Be honest for freaking once, Blake. What is this bull? Yeah, this is interesting. Well, Danny says the Delulu is real. Enrique says, I agree with you, but I think these photos were specifically chosen because they're from a time when everyone still got along before they had reached fame. Yeah, because there weren't any photos of them after they all hated her, maybe, except they're on set. Like, the only other photos are when they were on set, right? Now, of course, if we go through the actual photos, there's this cast photo of, it's like cast and crew, it looks like. It's like from one night that they all hung out at a bowling alley. It looks like she probably had a birthday party. That's honestly what it looks like. It's like season 1 or 2. She had a birthday party and they all got invited and they all got hammered because it's early. This looks like legit season 1. Okay. This is an on-set picture, obviously. You guys tell me what episode this was because I don't remember. I watched Gossip Girl once live when it aired. I have never gone back and done a rewatch, but this looks like a season 1 picture. This could have been later in the season, but these people are crew. And that guy is the creator. Who's the guy on the left? He's the creator, the guy that was behind the OC. What's his name? I can't remember. Obviously that's Leighton Meester, and I imagine the other girls. I recognize the other girls, but now I don't know who they are. Maybe friends? That's her and Chase Crawford. The only one, coincidentally, that still follows her. Is this her birthday party? Did she have a birthday party? A SpongeBob birthday party? That tracks. Okay, let's talk about the most diabolical. The most diabolical, Josh Schwartz. Thank you. Josh Schwartz. He created the OC as well. Maybe it was Josh Schwartz and Stephanie. That may be the other creator. Hold on. Creators of Gossip Girl. Stephanie Savage. Was it Stephanie Savage? Hold on. Let me just do a little research really quickly. Yeah, it's Stephanie Savage. That's Stephanie Savage. So that picture was Josh Schwartz and Stephanie Savage. Those are the two creators of Gossip Girl and OC. I mean, come on. Those are like iconic executive producers. Okay, back to the pictures. Okay. Let's talk about this. Guys, let's have a moment. I want to know something. Who here is married? Who here is married? Penn Badgley and Blake Lively were famously in a relationship many, many years ago. They have since now broken up. Hold on. Mildred, I'm not. Yeah, we know Mildred. We know. Penn Badgley and Blake Lively have since broken up. They do not follow each other on social media. They do not, as far as I know, get along. Penn Badgley is friends with Justin Baldoni. Okay, guys? In the court of law, if he had to choose one, I think he would firmly be in Justin's camp. Now, meanwhile, Penn Badgley is also living his life. He is doing his thing. He is on that show, You. Okay? He's living his life. He is happily married. He is living with 5 million followers. He has a podcast called Pod Crushed. He is on a huge show, and he just had twins. This is his most recent post from, I think, 2 weeks ago. Let's check it out.
I'm interrupting my paternity leave, which I'm on, by the way, which is also why I'm whispering here. Look, you want to see baby feet? Just tiny little baby feet right there. I don't want to wake them up. We have an event. A Pod Crushed live event at Symphony Space in New York City, October 14th.
Okay, so he's living his life. He's living his life. Now, you guys are saying he's following Justin Baldoni. Let's check it out. Following. Yeah, follows Justin Baldoni. Okay? The guy follows Justin Baldoni out of 300 people on Instagram. Just had baby twins. Why the fuck is Blake Lively sharing this photo? Out of all the photos she has, this is diabolical. They were in love with each other. They used to have sex. Maybe leave it out of the collage. This is not okay. If I were Penn, I'm uncomfortable for Penn Badgley's wife. Like, I feel Penn Badgley and his wife last night at dinner had to like cringe together for Blake. There's no question. If that was me and Lance seeing this, and like it was Lance's ex-girlfriend who was suing Lance's really good friend, and then posted a picture of her and Lance 10 years ago or 18 years ago or whatever, I would be like, what the hell? Come on, you guys. That's weird. Leave it out of the collage. Or you know what? If you don't want to put it in if you want to put it in the collage, put it in one of these. Put it in like a sixer. Don't highlight it as one of the main. Okay? Then she does this. The sweet Leighton pictures. You know, me and Leighton, besties. Besties. Okay? So it's just a weird ass post of how close we all were, you guys. We were besties. And then don't get me started on the one of her and Michelle Trachtenberg. Oh my gosh, the one of her and Michelle Trachtenberg. And you know, this is when people started turning on me in the Blake Lively trial. When the pro-Blakers started to turn on me. When I reported that one of Michelle Trachtenberg's personal friends said Michelle didn't like Blake. So this is what she posts. Okay, fine. It's a horrendous picture of Blake. Fine, cool. It's not the best picture of Michelle either. It's just weird. It's just weird. The whole thing is so weird. Okay, but let's focus on the comments. Now, you know she limits her comments. So probably the only people that can comment are people that she follows and that follow her back. So Mr. Justin Johnston, who is an actor, who probably is in one of the pictures, says, I remember this night. Where are you finding these? And someone says, I don't know who Lovey Ann Rose is, maybe an assistant or someone, says we were deep diving with Amy Tags and Jen Johnson Hare through old phones and hard drives from BlackBerry days to iPhones. I had no idea that some of those nights were even documented. I am so nervous. And then Ophira Jules, thank God there was no Insta then. Jess Ehrlich's, seriously epic. Of course, Don Saladino, trainer. And then Bart Johnson, brother-in-law, epic. We're still doing SpongeBob bounce houses in that exact same spot. Everyone, cute. Miss that house. Oh, cute, 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 cute. The only person that's not commenting is anyone else that's in the pictures. Find that weird. It's kind of weird. But one thing I did notice, and I'll never stop noticing, is the fact that, why do you do that? Let's talk about the why. Okay. Why do you post something like that? There's two reasons. Number one, to knock out all the press for the day, right? Because if you Google Blake Lively right now, just a simple Blake Lively search, this is what comes up. It's definitely nothing negative today. It's all of this. Blake Lively honors Gossip Girl anniversary, reveals never before seen Gossip Girl set photos, shares never before seen, shares behind the scenes photos, girls, Gossip Girl, Gossip Girl, Gossip Girl. Okay, so it's like Blake Lively, fun, friends, cool. The article should be Blake Lively gets ignored by former Gossip Girl cast. That's what the article should say. The article should say Blake Lively gets ignored by former Gossip Girl cast by sharing photos and not getting responses. That's what it should say. Like, that's so embarrassing, honestly. It's weird. Because if anyone from Saved by the Bell did this, or anyone from 90210 did this, or Melrose Place, or any of, like, even Dawson's Creek is in the news today because of James Vanderbeek, and that's like a whole other story, the other cast would react. They'd be like, this is so cute. They would be posting it on their stories. They would be talking about it. It would be like going on and on and on and on. So this is so odd. Anyway, that is strange. But my whole theory is that something is going on with her and Ryan. And I am convinced of it because this is a strange distraction, whether it's from the courts or this is something you do when you're spending all your time with your girlfriends and you're not spending it with your husband and you are literally freaking out because you have lost your identity in your 10 plus year marriage. Tell me honestly if you feel this way. But when you're spending way too much time in your relationship and you all of a sudden are finding yourself single and you're finding yourself alone, and all of a sudden now you have to figure it out and you're alone with your girlfriends. Like, why are you all of a sudden spending all this time with your girlfriends going through old photos? And now you're all of a sudden trying to figure out, like, who am I? And what was I? And who was I? And I want to get that fun part of me back. And that's truly what I feel in my gut. Tell me if I'm wrong. Because Ryan Reynolds was awarded the City of Vancouver award last week, and she was nowhere to be found. And I don't know. It's not every day that someone's husband is awarded a city award. I find it weird that she didn't jump over there to be, arm in arm with him during this prestigious moment. That's how I feel. Okay. Let's move on to our next story. And this, I want to remind you guys, is also brought to you. My show is also brought to you by Stay Body. And you guys are always asking me about those bodysuits that I wear all the time, the ones where you have no issue with pulling them down and you don't have to unsnap them or pull the whole thing down to pee. Remember those? And Stay Body is by my girl, my doser. So I have to remind you guys about this piece of shapewear, Stay Body. Do you love shapewear but find it too confining and crave an alternative? The smoothing benefits are great, but it can be way too suffocating and super uncomfortable. This is not like that. It's not like Spanx where you can't move. These are phenomenal. They're soft. They're incredible. Even Robin here, she says, I love Stay Body. Stay Body is the best. Okay. I don't know about you, but I don't need that level of compression on a daily basis. Bodysuits give coverage, but can ride up and create weird bulges where there were none. But don't get me started on the worst feeling of the world, the dreaded shapewear roll. Ick. And what about wrestling with snaps in the restroom or having to pull the entire thing down? All of it, just no. I've discovered the literal answer to all of these problems. It's my new go-to, and I am obsessed. The Stay Body suit will not untuck, pull down, or expose the tummy ever. No more adjusting or unrolling your undergarment. The look of a tank, the coverage of a bodysuit, and the comfort and ease of separate pieces all in one. And Stay Body is giving my listeners 10% off plus free shipping right now. Log on to staybody.com and use promo code DailyDose. It's the original Stay Bodysuit. Go to www.stabody.com. I wear it all the time. It's like one of my basics, black, white, I have beige, I have long sleeve, I have short sleeve, I have tank top. It's the best. STABody.com, code Daily Dose. Okay. Thank you so much, Stay Body. All right. Jimmy Kimmel, let's get into it. See, I'm a late night host. Guillermo. Okay. By the way, I just found out Guillermo is a local, like Little League dad. That I just found that out yesterday. Okay. So here's what I'll say. Jimmy Kimmel is everyone's reacting to Jimmy Kimmel, obviously. Without being, getting into like the political vibe of it or whatever, I'm just going to tell you what people are saying. Okay. People are very, very upset and everyone's allowed to have an opinion. Everyone's allowed to have an opinion. Oh, speaking of, I released a Patreon on Saturday. So many of you guys left amazing comments. I have to go back and respond to so many of these comments. I released a Patreon where I was really honest and really true about how it's been reporting on Charlie Kirk and Jimmy Kimmel over the last 2 weeks. It's been incredibly revealing. It's been incredibly difficult as a creator. Very, very challenging. I didn't realize how many, just how crazy it was to talk about this kind of stuff as a creator. And so I talk about all those feelings and all the reactions I've gotten on Patreon. So you can go over there and subscribe and listen to my innermost feelings of all of that. But here I will talk about more like the Hollywood reactions to the Jimmy Kimmel suspension. It's not a cancellation. It's a suspension at the moment. And of course, it ranges. A lot of people in the Hollywood world are pissed. They feel it is an infringement on free speech. We don't have an actual answer yet as to whether or not there was an actual conversation between the government, FCC, and ABC and Disney. I am of the mindset, if you want to know my opinion, that there should be no government interference. If there is government interference, I think that's wrong. I want to see evidence of it. I don't have personal evidence, but everyone assumes that there is, and everyone is assuming that there is. And if there is, that's wrong. But we can't just go through life assuming, because assuming, what did they say in school? Assuming makes a ass out of you and me. But, I can see that people are assuming that because of that conversation that was had between the FCC guy, whatever his name is, Carr. And I get that. I totally get that. The timing of it is shady. It's sus. It's effed up. And I get that completely. Danielle says, Donna, we want your shirt, but it's a dress. So you can't have my shirt because it's a dress. So I think that it's tricky, and I wish ABC and Disney would release a little bit more information. I wish they would talk a little bit more and not just let everyone stew in it. But I think that they don't mind not talking because, in my opinion, ABC and Disney, even though they're getting a lot of cancellations, which I'll talk about in just a moment, I wish they would talk a little bit because now they're just letting everyone's minds process and it's free speech and this and that. But I think it could be just ABC and Disney pulling him because they didn't like all the complaints that they were getting. We don't know. No one has the answer until you get the answer, right? No one has the full truth. So, okay. So, first of all, everyone was saying last week, why isn't The View talking about it? Oh my God, The View is being silenced. Well, The View finally spoke on it this morning because I guess Friday was a live pre-record. And Whoopi Goldberg actually finally said, and she said, we will never be silenced. We are never silenced. And the truth is, she really, honestly, is never silenced. Let's be real. When have you ever heard Whoopi not say anything? The woman never stops talking, right? The View never stops talking. They say everything. The View. She said, no one can silence us. Now, look, do you really think we weren't going to talk about Jimmy Kimmel? I mean, have you watched the show over the last 29 seasons? No one silences us. She says, we weren't going to say anything first. We wanted to wait until Jimmy Kimmel said, but we are live here today. This is what she said. She said, to be clear, you cannot like a show and it can go off the air. Someone can say something they shouldn't and it can get taken off the air. But the government cannot apply pressure to force someone to be silenced. That's what she said about it. Short and sweet. Oh, and then Anna said something else. Okay. Anna then said, I didn't realize there was more because all I saw was what Whoopi said. Anna then said, I don't understand how in this country where the First Amendment was made to the Constitution to guarantee freedom of the press and freedom of speech, how the government itself is using its weight and power to bully and scare people into silence. And then Alyssa said the First Amendment is the first for a reason because you need to be able to hold those in power accountable. And a lot of people are very happy that they spoke about it. Okay, so people were very concerned whether or not they spoke about it. They did. Now, meanwhile, a lot of Hollywood celebrities are speaking out. And, Hollywood celebrities, whether or not it matters that they speak out, I don't know. Hollywood is like an interesting thing because in Hollywood, it feels like such an important thing. But when you're outside of Hollywood, is it? Does it really matter that Hollywood speaks about it? I don't know. I guess in Hollywood doesn't matter. I don't know. But Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, and 400 or so signed an ACLU letter following the suspension. This is the moment to defend free speech. They said efforts by leaders to pressure artists, journalists, and companies with retaliation for their speech strike at the heart of what it means to live in a free country. They say last week, Jimmy Kimmel was taken off the air after the government threatened a private company with retaliation, marking a dark moment for freedom of speech in our nation. In an attempt to silence its critics, our government has resorted to threatening the livelihoods of journalists, talk show hosts, artists, creatives, and entertainers across the board. This runs counter to our values our nation was built upon and our Constitution guarantees. It says the letter does not name Donald Trump or Brendan Carr, that's the FCC chair, but they are cited in a website introduction. And then it says, regardless of our political affiliation or whether we engage in politics or not, we all love our country. We also share the belief that our voices should never be silenced by those in power, because if it happens to one of us, it happens to all of us. And so a large amount of actors signed it. And okay, so that's all the article said. This is out of deadline.com. So I don't know personally and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm so interested where's the proof, or is the FCC So I guess the issue here, and it's a timing issue because the FCC spoke, I'm sorry, not the FCC, Brendan Carr spoke on the podcast, this podcast with this conservative man, Benny Johnson. He spoke on this podcast and said about the fact that he believes that ABC or Disney or whoever should act about Jimmy Kimmel's comments. And hours later, Nexstar pulled. That's the timing of it. So was that the only conversation that was had? Did he just say it on the podcast? Were more things happening behind the scenes that we don't even know about? I don't know. I mean, you guys would know more than me. I'm curious. And I would love to know, is there more evidence, or is that enough evidence to say that was enough pressure? That he said it on a public podcast with millions of people listening? Is that enough? I don't know. That's horrible too. I mean, it's true. It doesn't sound good. And I posted on my stories the other day that even Ted Cruz, who I'm not a fan of, and I'm not shy to say that, Ted Cruz says on his podcast, not on his podcast, maybe it was his podcast. I don't know. I saw a news person that I follow. He posted it. Even Ted Cruz, who is a conservative, said that even though he didn't like the comment Jimmy Kimmel said, he doesn't like that Brendan Carr said in that mafia tone, we can do this the hard way or the easy way. So it's okay to disagree and agree with two things here, right? It's okay to say, although I didn't agree with Jimmy Kimmel's statement, I also don't agree with the statements made by the FCC. And that's where I land, if you guys are wondering about my opinion. That's where I land on this. I land on, you may not agree on Jimmy Kimmel's positioning and his comments, but the government intervention is the problem. That's where I land. That's Donna Bowling's position. Donna Bowling, stand with that. I stand there. Okay. Should I make a shirt? Next. Another reaction, Howard Stern has reacted to it too and said, I am canceling Disney Plus. And people said, Howard Stern, you have to pay for Disney Plus. That was my reaction to Howard Stern canceling Disney Plus. I said, really, Howard? They make you pay for Disney Plus? I'm sorry. Also, no offense to Disney Plus, but like, who's watching? What's on Disney Plus these days? Isn't that just like Star Wars? I feel like that's just Star Wars these days. I'm not watching Disney Plus. I watch a ton of ABC, like Hulu. But what's on Disney Plus? But Howard Stern, of course, is very angry. Now, Howard Stern and Jimmy Kimmel are tight. They're all tight, all these Hollywood elite. So they're going to all stand together. But Howard Stern, of course, is going to stand by this. He's like the king of free speech. His whole career was based on this idea of like pushing against FCC rules, right? Didn't you guys remember Private Parts? That was one of my favorite books, by the way. Can you imagine me at 11 years old telling my mom I want to buy the book Private Parts? I'll never forget it. I was on vacation with my family reading the paperback book of Private Parts. Hilarious. I'm not a huge fan of Howard Stern at all. But of course, Howard Stern is standing by it. Now, this I found was an interesting reaction. A little annoying, to be honest. Okay? Over the top. Have you heard of this Lilith Fair documentary that's coming out? This is an over-the-top reaction. I think the boycotting ABC and Disney is a little annoying to me, only because, and I'll tell you why, and I'm going to get pushback on this. Okay. If you cancel ABC and Hulu, what does that do? Yes, it will take money out of the network's pockets and the studio's pockets. But you know who it won't take money out of? It will never take money out of the executives' pockets. Ever. You know whose money who will suffer? The shows that they greenlight. And you know who suffers? Crew. Like my husband, like his friends, like the below the line, like the camera people, like the craft service, like the costume designer, like the makeup artists, like the script supervisor, like the PAs. It's the freaking crew. Those are the people that suffer when you guys do the boycotts for ABC and Disney. And this is where it hurts. And then you know who else suffers is their families. So I will never boycott a corporation like ABC and Disney because the bottom line, the below the line people suffer the most, and the executives continue to live in their billionaire mansions with their billionaire salaries, and they continue to live life just fine. But the fat, they trim the fat. They're fine, but we suffer. My family suffers. Lance on Dancing with the Stars suffers, and his crew, right? So I don't agree with the boycotting of those things. I just don't. That's how I feel about that. Next, I think that, in my opinion, Sarah. Okay, so Lilith Fair. Number one, I went to the Lilith Fair when I was younger. Did you guys go to Lilith Fair? My mom probably thought I was a lesbian. Who went to the Lilith Fair that wasn't a lesbian or gay? Did any straight people ever go to the Lilith Fair? Someone here in the audience tell me, other than me. I mean, maybe I was trying to figure it out. Maybe I was like on the verge of being a lesbian. I think I was literally on the verge of being a lesbian. And then I went to the Lilith Fair and I was like, oh, no, I think I like guys. Lilith Fair is where it was like the crossroads. Like, do you like vagina? Suki says, oh, haha, I went, but I am gay. Lilith Fair was like Sarah McLachlan, Tori Amos, Bonnie Raitt, Closer I Am to Find. Rosanna says, I did, not a lesbian. Okay, so Jewel was there. A lot of people just went for the music. Indigo Girls, yes, Tracy Chapman. Erica Badu. It was all women. It was just like peace, love, and pussy. It was chicks, Dixie Chicks type of music. Joan Osborne. It really was peace, love, and puss. Missy Elliott did a show. Okay, you guys, starting today on Hulu, there's a Lilith Fair documentary. Did you know that? A Lilith Fair documentary. And I'm dying to watch it. Because it's like my whole childhood was that Sarah McLachlan album. What was it called? The Building a Mystery album. Building a Mystery. Okay, so what was it called, that whole album? It was my whole life. Red Ginger says I was very bi. Oh my God. Wow. You got your husband to go? Yeah, your husband probably was into watching the lesbians make out. Guarantee it, Mojgan. So Fiona Apple was also there. Oh, I've been a bad, bad girl. Yeah. That was my 15-year-old. That was like, well, listen, we all experiment. High school, college, come on. No judgment. No judgment. Okay, so Melissa Etheridge, I loved that whole, I loved it. Anyway, if you go watch the trailer, it's amazing, but it's out today or yesterday or whatever on Hulu. Anyway, but last night they had a big premiere, and Sarah McLachlan and Jewel were supposed to perform at the Lilith Fair premiere. Here, I'll pull up the article. They were supposed to perform, but they canceled. They canceled their performances in protest at the premiere of Disney's highly anticipated Lilith Fair documentary because they cited free speech following the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel. Guys, come on. I find this to be annoying. Is that too much for me? Is this where you leave me? I come on. All these people are going. All they want to do is rock out to some, half lesbian music. And then now they have to leave. The shock announcement came during what was supposed to be a celebrity event at the Ford in Los Angeles for Lilith Fair, building a mystery. Yes, produced by ABC News Studios and Hulu. Instead, the evening turned political and deeply personal. Like, gag me with a fork. You want to go and you want to see Sarah McLachlan. You go out of your house on a Sunday. You deal with traffic. You deal with parking. You deal with all that drama. And then you go just to, all you want to do is like, sing and like, hold up your lighter, or these days you hold up your phone and maybe smoke a little joint. And now you have to like, sorry, we're not going to sing because free speech. So annoying. It says, while Disney has remained tight-lipped about the late-night host removal, the fallout has reached far beyond the studio to Washington and now to the music world. The artist had been set to stage following the screening of the documentary, but in a stunning moment, McLachlan emerged, not to sing, but to speak. Well, I thought it was free speech. Why don't you sing and not speak? I know you're expecting a performance tonight, she said, and I'm so grateful for you all for coming. And I apologize if this is disappointing. Yeah. But we have collectively decided not to perform, but instead to stand in solidarity in support of free speech. What? I would be so annoyed. Like, beyond. And Jimmy Kimmel's sitting at home, like in his multi-million-dollar mansion, being like, I won. It's insane. It's so annoying. Sarah goes, it's a gift for all of us to see this film, but also I've grappled with being here tonight and around what to say around the present situation that we're all faced with. The stark contraction to the many advances we've made, watching the insidious erosion of women's rights, of trans and queer rights, the muzzling of free speech. I think we're all fearful for what comes next, and none of us know. But what I do know is that we have to keep pushing forward as an artist, as a woman, to find a way through, because I see music as a bridge to our shared humanity, to find a common ground. If Lilith taught me anything, it taught me here that there is great strength in coming together to lift each other up instead of tearing each other down. So I really hope this documentary inspires everyone to continue to try and create positive change in your communities. Keep championing the causes you believe in with kindness and empathy, because ultimately we're all in this together. Okay, good night, guys. I would be like, what? Like, way to leave people angry. That doesn't make me feel inspired. She's literally like, music is our bridge, so I'm not going to sing for you. I'm not building a bridge tonight. I'm not inspiring you tonight. What an obnoxious way to deal. And I guess no members of the press were allowed. Look at this. Oh my God. I wish you could see this guy's face. Can you see this guy's face? Well, look how angry he is. We love Jimmy Kimmel. I wish you could see this guy's face. We love Jimmy Kimmel. Bring back happiness and comedy. Oh my God. People need to get a grip. Oh, there's Ted Cruz talking about it. My man, Ted Cruz. In what world? In what world is Donna Bowling talking about Ted Cruz on Daily Dose of Donna? Whew. Okay. I'm still going to watch the Lilith Fair documentary and remember when I almost became a lesbian at 14 years old. All right, you guys. Well, this was a fun episode, I hope. Just be you, Donna. Don't be anyone else. I hope everyone has an amazing Monday. Shana Tova again. And go watch Zach Peter, okay? I guess he's going on live right now. I love you, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for subscribing and liking the video. Like the video if you like free speech. Bye.